What is up, YouTube? It's Matthew Nickerson with Sanji Global Consulting, and I have something that I wanted to share with you. I read this article last year, and it stated 69% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. And I really wanted to come and just talk to you guys about the importance of a rainy day fund. First, wanted to just pour my heart out to all of those that have been affected and that are going through it in 2020. This was very, very important to me because in the beginning of this year, I saw a lot of people that were transitioning from spending lots of money to now thinking, oh my God, I've got to save, save, save. So I'm going to give you some tips and some strategies so that in the future, when we have these types of events, you'll be a little bit more prepared. And it's just good to have a rainy day fund just in case. So I wanted to give you some interesting statistics. I wrote these down right here. Q2 economists predicted that the GDP would be an estimated negative 34.7. In actuality, the GDP for the United States was a negative 32.9% decrease for Q2. Now, what does that mean? That means that Americans are spending less. There is sky rates of unemployment where 40 to 50 million people in the course of 6 months have either lost their jobs, been furloughed, or have been laid off. And this is just mind-blowing proportions of what we're going through as a country. So one of the things that changed my life was when I was 13 years old, my mother and father, during the holidays, brought me these two books. Now, the first book, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, and also his book, Financial Peace. Now, while I don't agree with everything that Dave Ramsey says, the one point that I'll always agree on is the rainy day fund. And he brings this up very, very much throughout all of his books. He's very against debt, and he's very for conservative spending and conservative saving. So I will talk to you guys about how to set up a rainy day fund, but I wanted to kind of talk you guys through it based off of these statistics. If you treat your life like a business has revenue, they have fixed costs, they have variable costs, different expenses. So the equation for profit, or your bottom line, would be revenue minus expenses would equal the profit, whatever's left over. So if you treat your life almost like a business, your revenue is the income that you're bringing in, whether you're an entrepreneur or you work at a job salary or hourly. So you would calculate how much money you bring in for the month. And then your expenses would be what you would subtract from that number. Whatever would be left over would be the amount that you can save. The issue that most people have is they have high overhead costs, whether it's high rent, a new car, they have different payments that they're responsible for, and it eats into their profits that they could have left over. So start thinking about all of the things that you spend your money on, whether it be eating out, because if you take your fixed costs, which would be your car insurance, the place that you stay at, the things that don't change, and then you change the variable expenses, which would be like going to the bar, eating out all the time, services like Netflix and subscription services that can change over time. If you can change that behavior and you can kind of thwart off the marketing people that are coming at you at all directions, you'll start to notice that if your expenses drop and you're able to do that, your profits get bigger. So what you do is you think of the revenue minus the expenses. Whatever's left over is the profit. You pay yourself first. So you take that money, you throw it into your savings account, and there's many different ways you can do this by different mathematical proportions. But in case you're looking for a great solution, go to Google and type in $10,000 in 52 weeks. What you're going to get is a chart like this. And what it does is it allows you to see that whatever you're saving beyond the revenue that you're bringing in, your salary, minus the expenses, everything that you're paying, you will have that money that you can save or you can spend. The choice is yours. But what I want you to do is look into this chart. This is a 52-week step-by-step process of what you deposit and the total amount on the right. It gives you a week-by-week breakdown, and this is extremely important. So why I'm saying that you should read the Dave Ramsey Financial Piece or the Total Money Makeover is because it will change your life. He recommends 3 to 6 months, and I totally agree. If everybody knew what was going to happen in 2020, I think a lot more Americans would be saving, but we historically have not had a high savings rate as a country. So it's very, very important and very crucial that we start thinking about this now. If you have furloughs, layoffs, job losses, how long can you survive with the money that you have? If that number is less than 2 months, you might be in trouble. During this 2020, it's been harder to find jobs. There's been a higher rate of layoffs than we've seen in the past. So it's very, very important for you to get your financial peace in mind so that if these events happen, you're not always reliant on the government to come in and help you out, because you know that you have peace of mind through the profits that you saved and put aside for that rainy day. I hope this helped, but I definitely suggest that you look into the books, start thinking of your life as a business, and if you start doing that, you will start to be able to collect a little bit of money to put aside for these rainy events. This is Matthew Nickerson, and I appreciate y'all. If you like what you're hearing, subscribe to the channel, like the page for the algorithm, but I hope that you guys have a great rest of your 2020. Please stay safe and remember to wear your mask. Bye.